Alright, y'all. Welcome back. So, today, we're going to try to do something a little different. We are going to go ahead and try to overlay this on top of our training videos this week. And we'll see how it goes. That way, I'm not just a talking head, but I'm just not doing an actual talk over. So, also trying to save myself a little time. I'm already out here walking versus having to sit down and then add an additional time to editing the videos. So this looks a little better, sounds a little better or something. Hit that like button, comment on it. We'll see how it goes. But with that, in the background, you guys are going to see my top sets. Each one of my lifts over the last week is the way I'm going to kind of do these. So today's little topic, I think we'll talk about progression. So progression can break down pretty simple, right? Especially when you're first starting out. Are you working on sleeping more? Are you working on drinking more water? Are you drinking less soda? Are you eating less junk food? Are you doing more meal prep? Are you eating out less? Are you getting more steps in? Are you lifting heavier? Is the scale going down? Are you going through recomp and looking leaner while the scale kind of maintains the same? Like, there's a lot of ways to track that progress. And at times, some of the progress you're looking for may not be happening. But if you're looking at another factor or a few other factors, you may be making progress in that. And so I kind of see people get stuck on like, oh, the scale's not going down. Yeah, but you lost a pant size over the last 40 days. So you may not be losing weight per se, but you are losing body fat and apparently gaining muscle. So are you making progress? 100%. So whether or not the scale thinks you're making progress, that doesn't matter. And then, because like the scale is only part of the picture. Because you still have body fat percentage, muscle mass, like your skeletal muscle, hydration. Dang. That thing's blower is whistling. But we're getting off the main road, so all this car noise. If I wasn't able to edit it all out, it'll disappear here in about 30 seconds. But, so, the people get discouraged in their progress and stop making those changes or working towards those changes or putting in the effort when one of the trackable factors changes and stops changing per se, right? Because they think that's the factor that matters the most, when in reality, you got 5-10 different factors that all matter and they all change with each other over time. So, because there is a point, like if you're trying to lose weight, like you might stop losing weight because you've gotten lean, like, but mentally, you may be looking at yourself through like body dysmorphia lenses and you don't think you're that lean yet. But in reality, like you're 15% or sub 15% body fat. You've got abs and some vascularity, but you think the scale number needs to keep going down. But in reality, if you could keep your body fat percentage where you're at, and then watch the scale slowly climb up as you're adding muscle tissue to your frame, you're making progress. Like, but sometimes the scale is everything for some people, and I really think that messes up a lot of progress. along with like sleep. That slows down progress quite a bit. Not drinking enough water, obviously, slows down progress. Too many cheap meals definitely slows down progress. But in a big factor of things, you know, the ability to track things on a measurable scale on many criteria is what matters the most versus a singular criteria. Now, the other thing that comes about is, trying to overcome life restrictions to make your progress. And it's kind of weird. One of the easiest ones is like, say you work from home and you do a lot of meetings through the day, but you have life to take care of after work, and you don't really have a lot of time to do, say, a bunch of cardio. Well, most cases you can get yourself a walking mat and continue doing your at-home work, especially if it's like webcam meetings. It's probably the easiest one. Or you've got just a bunch of email replies you got to do. You can walk on a walking mat. Cheap ones, you can find them for like $200. Heck, you can find some really nice used ones for like $100 on Marketplace and Craigslist. And maybe even a standing desk. And you can sit there and get your steps in while you work instead of having to make time to do your cardio. Then the free time you do have to actually exercise, you can use for resistance training or biking or swimming or whatever you like to do for your physical activity, right? So it frees up some time there. Or say you're even a gamer, right? You get 2 hours a day to game. Get yourself a walking mat. Sit there and walk and game at the same time. There's always a way to make that at least cardiovascular step goal every day. Now, when it comes to resistance training, that's kind of a little different window. If you can get your cardio done while you're working or during your rec time to give yourself your resistance training window, then you're going to make some more progress, right? Now, I'm always going to recommend you do resistance training over cardio. And the reason why is muscle tissue burns fat. And why I say that is the more muscle you can put on your frame, the more calories you burn just existing. So as long as you don't start eating more, eventually you're going to reach a point to where you're going to be net neutral and you're going to start losing body fat and staying at your same body weight because the muscle tissue is working to burn those calories you've put in. Now, cardio comes into play for obviously heart health, things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, cardiovascular activity is just creating a calorie deficit. So that way, you can still eat a little more while losing weight. Or eat the same and create your deficit that way without having, to restrict your intake. That's what cardio is really for. But that is here nor there. So there's many ways to make progress and many ways to definitely stop yourself from making progress. And what we got to work on overall is instead of making reasons to not do our progress, we start creating more reasons of how we can accomplish our progress. And when you can make that mental change, that's when you're really going to get further and further. But with that, guys, we're going to end this off here. Just make sure you're out there working toward your goals, getting your stuff done. Most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.